Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
It's a beautiful day outside today. I don't know how the weather was there in Florida, but we've had 68, 69, 70-degree weather all day, which is a little different for us, but I appreciate it. I got to get the Camaro out.
Well, see, we have, I'd say, especially in the dry season out here in Florida, we have the most bipolar weather of anywhere that I've ever lived at, and it is absolutely it's strange because you'll have one day like earlier in the week. We had what we consider a cold front, which equals to about 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we so we get into that, and then all of a sudden then it warms up because I think it was up to about 80 or 90. Yeah, we're up to about 80. We're up to 80 degrees today.
Heat wave.
And
heat wave coming through. You have an echo going on there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was bringing up another. You still hear the echo?
No, I could just no. It's gone now.
Yeah, right, I was sorry. I was bringing up my multiple screens. You know how I do it.
Hey, so talking about new pops, because that's something that we tend to do right off the jump here. What did you think about the Funko Con that they did today?
To be 100% honest with you, because I know between you, me, and JKL. Now we all know that JKL awesome. He's on top of it above either one of us. And we have an Instagram thread between the three of us that we constantly are talking on. And he sent us a post. As most of you guys know, I work late nights during the week. So by the time Friday comes around, I am dead. I am just dead. And so I had all these plans, get all these stuff done, get the thumbnail done. That's why the thumbnail was up so late today. Get the thumbnail done, do all these other things. And I was hanging out with the kids, and I did the big mistake of laying down on the couch, and I passed out. I passed out till probably about 3:30, and then I woke up, and I actually just saw the messages about 10 minutes before we went on.
All right. So in all honesty, I didn't really care about their drops today. Look, I know that sounds horrible because I'm a huge Deadpool fan. I did later go on like hours after it had already been done, and I picked up the Deadpool like hours later. And I think you even mentioned before we went live that it's still on there for sale. So the Deadpool is made still on there. I don't see it going out anywhere. What did you think about that 18-inch group?
The thing is, it's nothing special. The thing's been out for a while.
Well, they flocked it, and they put a 3,000 piece number. Well, I think it was less than that.
I mean, that's a lot of flocking, but I mean, really, you're not adding too much to that damn thing to begin with. 18-inch. I mean, I don't even know what they're selling it for today, but I know the regular one was like $100. I'm not spending $100 on a pop that I have no place to put.
Well, they sold it for $120. I guess the flocking put an extra $20 on there, and the fact that they reduced the numbers down to a limited number. And I don't remember if it was a 1,200 piece run or a 3,000 piece run. But my opinion is the only reason that thing sold out is because they put a limited number on it. If they would have just sold it out and however many there was, hundreds of thousands, it would have never sold out. But the fact that they said, hey, there's only 3,000. Everybody who's not a group fan became a group fan all within like 2 minutes.
I mean, I don't get that either. Really, is there $20 worth of felt on that damn thing?
No, I don't. Look, there's no way in this world that I would have ever picked it up. I mean, I just simply would not have done it.
Here's my thing, and we've talked about this many times. And in my area around here, even up on the shelf here that you can somewhat see sometimes in my videos, I'm running out of room. I'm eventually going to start stacking because I still want those zombie 10-inch. I'm going to start stacking them here because that's the problem is these things have no room. Where am I going to put an 18-inch pop?
I don't think you are. How does my audio sound real quick?
Sounds fine.
Okay. So I don't. Look, I'm never going after the 18-inch. I missed the only 18-inch that I would have probably went after. And maybe if they make a Deadpool 18-inch in some cool variants, I might go after it. But it's going to definitely have to be a cool variant.
Here's the other difference with this thing. Even if they are botters that are getting these,
absolutely.
Hypothetically they are. Do you know how expensive it's going to be to ship an 18-inch pop?
I can't even imagine. Look, I can't even imagine. Now, Funko gets away with things like that just simply because
they swing deals with the postal
yes,
service.
they've swung a deal with those guys because I know they swung a deal with them because they could ship the 10-inch for like $5, and that's ludicrous. I couldn't ship it for under 30. So I mean, they've struck a deal somehow. When the 18-inch Batman, the original Batman with the blue suit, not the one that you see that's on the common, they only made like 1,200 of them, and so they were on the site and gone before you even knew it happened. I would have possibly picked up that 18-inch pop, and I would possibly pick up an 18-inch Deadpool, but it would have to be a severe variance. Like I'm looking at Chasing Kingdom over there, and he says like the unicorn. Yeah, I mean it would have to be a Deadpool that I couldn't like walk away from. If they just did a common Deadpool, I don't have room for it. I'm with you. I don't have room for that.
Just a stand-up Deadpool. But again,
I don't
you
have
did
room
an 18-inch Deadpool on a unicorn. Just now look at your mass.
Now
look at your mass.
I don't care. Look, I'll put it on a dresser. Look, I'm okay at that point.
That thing's gonna be bigger than your dog over there.
Yes, it's definitely gonna be bigger than my dog. The 10 inches are bigger than my dog. He only stands a foot tall and 40 pounds.
Yeah, I don't get him personally. I think the Wolverine one, to be honest with you, I think was weak. I know it's sold out, but I think it's weak. To be honest, because there's so many Wolverines. They just released an X-Men line, what, 2 months ago, that had two versions of Wolverine in the line. One with the wife beater on, and one with the black suit on.
And don't forget the two zombies.
Oh yeah, then the zombies.
I mean, they have just been killing the Marvel.
Technically, three zombies for Wolverine, because I wound up having all three of them. I've already got. I think it's in the closet somewhere. I'll be in a video probably next week. My glow in the dark Wolverine. So that'll be my second one, because my first one's right here with it's here with the fake Walmart exclusive sticker on it. Nonetheless,
the fake Walmart exclusive.
I have two of them. I have a Deadpool, and I have the Wolverine zombie with the fake Walmart exclusive on it.
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like that a lot of your exclusives now have fake stickers on them, just because if you're going to call it exclusive to Walmart, then don't sell it in your shop. I mean, because to me that you ruined the idea of it being an exclusive. So I think that we see a lot of fake exclusive stickers anymore.
And that will tie into our topic, of course, for today is, do you know how to spot a Funko fake? And again, there's many ways that people are trying to change up and trick us collectors and stuff like that. But we have found a very good article. Wayne and I both found a very good article that can help you guys spot these and help yourselves a lot more. But we will get into that in a little bit. We got some other stuff to deal with first.
And in all honesty, people have been making knockoffs of stuff since as long as I can remember, right? If
it's worthwhile, they're going to make a knockoff.
You have knockoff Beats, knockoff Nikes, knockoff Jordans, knockoff. I mean, so in all fairness, it's not like it's anything new, right? I mean, that's
if something's worthwhile, they're going to make it worthwhile to make a fake of it. It's just part of it. It's part of the world. But as a collector, if you can know small things to look for, then or ask your sellers that you're buying from, it can always help you in the long run. It's not going to solve all your fake Funko problems, but at least we can try to educate a little bit. I found the article very interesting.
Yeah, I've looked at a lot of those articles and I've looked at a lot of videos, but I've kind of got an advantage that I don't really go to the secondary market when it comes to buying things. I have this feeling that once I've missed it, and that's just the way I go with it. I mean, I've just missed it, and that's it. Sometimes I do now. I mean, I'm not saying that I've never, but I don't think you start seeing fakes and stuff like this until you start getting over the $40 marker, right? Yeah. When you start getting into being profitable, that's when you're going to see some like forgery going on. But before we get on to that topic, and before you get into the chat room shout out, right? Black Friday pops. What do you think we're going to see for Black Friday? This is something that my wife kind of said to me today, and I haven't really thought about it.
To me, I don't always associate Black Friday with the pops. Although last year was probably the first time. Because again, I was just getting into collecting, so it's the first time that it was noticeable in my mind with the 10-inch Deadpools from last year. But and I think that's what Walmart is doing the same thing this year with those 10-inch Marvel zombies. Now, different from last year to this year, I could walk away from the Deadpools and be okay. Those Marvel Zombies, though, I'm having a hard time walking away from those. And from what I heard, they are. And mind you, and Wayne and I were talking about this before. I have recently discovered Reddit, and I'm addicted to Reddit, by the way. And there's some people, and I have some Funko threads that I follow, and people have taken pictures of floor displays of Marvel zombie pops. And I am now going to have to go find some Target or some Walmarts and find me some pops.
Okay, so last Black Friday at Walmart, I actually stood at the Deadpools waiting to get all 4 of them. But we were talking about this right before we came on too, which is kind of funny. And you said 4. There's actually 5, and I missed that as well when I picked up the 4, or I probably would have picked up 5.
Me personally, I don't count the 5th one. I have no respect. Sorry, let me reword that. I have no disrespect for this character, but I'm interested in the zombies.
There's 5. There's a variance where one of them he's holding the sword, one of them he's holding a gun. I would have probably went after all 5
Deadpool one. Yeah,
on the Deadpool. Right. I would have went after all 5, but I only got the 4. Look, I'm happy with the 4, but it wasn't until I got home and somebody said something 5, and I went, "There's not 5." Looked it up. Lo and behold,
so you bought all of them already?
All 4 of them. No, I didn't go after the 5th one. I once again, that goes to that secondary market, and I left it alone.
Well, which one's the more limited run, the sword or the gun?
I don't really know. I just recently seen that the gold one was probably the most expensive one as far as value. But the only reason I seen that is that I was scrolling through.
You talk about the ones from last year, the Deadpool.
Last year, yeah, the Deadpool's from last year. And the only reason I know that is I was scrolling through my collection on the Funko app, and that no one ever updates. I haven't updated it in so long that it's way off where it should be.
Did they have a different pop number?
No, yes, they all have different numbers. Every one of them have different numbers.
So even the 2 Deadpools with the gun and the sword have 2 different pop numbers.
Yes, they all have.
So that'd be interesting to know which one. Which one could be the higher value than the other. That's always good to know. Nonetheless, it's, of course, knowing the value of your collection is always smart. Nonetheless, and I'm probably a hypocrite on that because I haven't updated my collection in my phone in too damn long, so I don't even know all the value of it, but.
I haven't either. It's been so long since I've really updated all of that, and I think the only reason I was scrolling through it was to see if I had a I want to say it was a Stan Lee. I was looking to see if I had not the Thor, but it was one of them from one of the movies, and I can't remember which one it was. But I have it, but that was the only reason I was scrolling through there to see if I had it.
Yeah.
So you want to get into the chat room shout out? I see that they're
go to the chat room
chat.
We've got enough people jump on in here. We've got a whole lot of people chatting away. Of course, we have our good buddy and a very, very good friend of the show and just of us in general.
Do you know JKL's name?
I did.
I don't either.
I
don't either. JKL, what is your name?
He told me at one point, but I forgot. So for me, he's it's kind of funny because I had this guy in high school that I used to know. I wasn't best friends with him, but I knew him. But I was introduced to him because he's a big, tall guy with curly hair. So I was introduced to him as Big Bird. That's what his name was.
Big Bird.
And I forever, the entire 4 years of high school, that's what we called him. He was Big Bird. And I think senior year, something came around and somebody asked, where so-and-so was. I'm like, I don't know who the hell you're even talking about. And I realized at that point in 4 years, I never knew his first actual name. And it took me a while, and it was true. But it was funny is one of those names that you look at him, you look at the name, and you're like, it doesn't make any sense. Big Bird.
That's why he went by Big Bird.
Yeah, probably. But JKL, awesome army in the house. I love the new group name. I know Wayne and I was working on mine for a while, and I'm still happy with mine.
Awesome army in the house.
Awesome army. That's a great one.
That is a great name.
I know Wayne's got his WayneKo crew, and I've got my Techbot Avengers. I figure I had to go to Marvel. But anyways, let's keep on going. We got our good friend over at Jesse Lou Comics and Pops. What's happening, buddy? He actually sent me a pop recently. Got it in the closet still. It will be unboxed later next week. We've got actually OTT with G. What's up, man? Now this guy, most of you guys don't know because nobody really jumped on, but I did it anyways. Is and it's partially my fault because I really didn't even advertise it until the day of. I actually did my first installment of Techbot After Dark last Saturday on Halloween.
So is this a segment that you're going to start doing every week?
Yes. It's gonna be Saturdays and probably
what time on Saturdays?
I did it at 9 o'clock last week, but I'm debating on switching it up. Might do it 8. I'm not quite sure. I'll be putting that link up either tonight or tomorrow morning. So I'll have the time, but it's either gonna be 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow. Going from there, and this is just something that what's funny is I went into it with absolutely nothing. I was like, you know what, let's just talk about whatever. And my good buddy here, OTT with G, jumped on. And really, if you guys watch the replay, it was pretty much just him and I chatting back and forth. And of course, I went on with my normal rhetoric of bashing Robert Pattinson's Batman, probably half of the chat. Yeah. So
you're gonna have to let that go. You're gonna have to let that go.
OTT, and then we'll be popping jumped on a little bit later in the chat. But yeah, we'll OTT. Thank you for joining me last Saturday. Hope to see you back on this Saturday. We've got our good buddy over at Fabian's Funko Pops. What's up, buddy? I do appreciate you joining us.
Fabian.
We got Hail to the Kingdom. We've got Chase's Kingdom. What's happening, buddy? I watched a video of his just the other day. What was it? I was trying to remember because he puts out a couple of videos a week, I believe.
Yes.
He had opened up something that I was like, damn, I gotta get that. But now my mind at the end of the week is getting much cloudy.
Yes, no, it happens to everybody.
But I can't remember what it was, but it was a fantastic video. And some of the items that he does in his videos are fantastic. I love the creativity he does.
I'm glad to hear. I'm here that I'm not the only one that happens to, though.
Oh, so. Yeah. It just gets cloudy. Of course, we've got the great Wayne's wife, who had probably one of the best Halloween costumes I think I've seen that we saw last week when she popped in on the Mandalorian chat. That Maleficent outfit was fantastic, by the way.
She's pretty amazing woman. It looked good on her.
It was spot on. It was really spot on. We've got our buddy over at Flash Ray Comics special GameStop box. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
What?
Of course, they do it every year. I did forget about that.
I forgot about that too. You know what? I actually asked my local GameStop, now that he's saying that, the other day, if they were going to have those the GameStop boxes that they have every Black Friday, and the manager there actually told me she didn't know. She told me that GameStop tells them nothing when it comes to Black Friday until they actually open it up in the box. And she actually got some boxes. And look, she was telling me the truth, and this is how I know she was telling me the truth. They have a big orange label on it that says "Do not open Black Friday special." And so she was like, "Oh, so I can't even open this box." And she was telling me that they will fire them with a possible lawsuit. Yeah, with possible lawsuits. Because I said, "Hey, look, you should let me open those up. That'll be great content." She was like, not happening.
It fell. Trust me, it fell off the box.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, you can say you had a customer go rogue, and she said, "Well, I don't know what the attorney's going to say in the courtroom."
All right, we've got our good friend in the land of Down Under. We have the Funko Fridge, the Australian Wonder. We've got also from over on the way west coast, we've got our good buddy K Titus over from Japan. Konnichiwa, buddy. I appreciate you joining us. Who else we got on here? I know there's a bunch of conversations going on. And then of course I can't leave out the troublemaker of all troublemakers, the Bearded Barbarian Collectibles. We got to get him back on the show one of these days. Just because he's just the biggest instigator I've ever seen.
Who's the biggest instigator?
Bearded Barbarian.
Oh yeah, he's always an instigator. Always. That's just the way this works. I'm looking at OTT with G down there before you go that direction, and he's saying that they have a wormy variant. Could you please explain that one a little better to me? Kenneth Bird, how are you?
Yeah, Kenneth Bird, what's going on?
Since I rudely interrupted him, I'm sorry. I have to do that, or my brain's never going to come back to where I was.
What was my nickname? I just saw this comment. I was probably called many things, to be honest with you, and I would probably answer to just about anything. I don't think I really had a nickname in high school, to be 1,000% honest. At least not that I could remember. No, not that anything that stuck. I mean, something, that people want to call me, on the side or whatnot, but nothing like, what we call Big Bird. That was just his name. So, yeah, I can't remember right now. Yeah, it does. Again, getting too old. My brain's not functioning right anymore.
A variant version. What are they talking about? Variant version of the Wormy? There's no variant to that.
And Chase got a.
I'm gonna have to go check this video out now. Yeah, when we're done here today, I'm gonna make sure that I go check the video out. That way, I have a little bit better.
Explain it better, since it was his find, but I think they had a glowworm mini. Oh, is the mini ones?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna see if go look at those real quick. I was wondering what he was talking about. I'm gonna have to go check those out, and I'll go check out the video when we get off of here today. But the Black Friday ones are coming out are pretty cool. I'm kind of thinking that we're going to see some more Blacklight come from Target on Black Friday. I kind of think that that's where that's going to go, and maybe even some Marvel art series. We're going to see some more of those.
That mean, and they're starting to do more of the DC art series. I know they released, was it last weekend? Target had released 2 more Batman art series. I'm just not into them. So I'm not going out and rushing to get them by any means.
So here's the thing. I've seen that JKL had them on Instagram where he's trying to put them into his cart. I've seen on different channels where they're talking about the Blacklight DC from Hot Topic. I cannot find that on their webpage anywhere. And this is why I normally look on their webpage, because I go to their webpage and it tells me the release date. The release date is the day that it'll be in stores. I almost never manage to catch things in pre-order from Hot Topic or Target. For some reason, it must be a mythical creature. They post that stuff, and somehow people know that they're posting it way before I do. So by the time I get on there, it's sold out. I look at the release dates, and that tells me when I need to be there that morning, right? So if it's November 20th, then I just know that I have to be at Hot Topic before they open on November 20th to get one, right? Because for some reason, there's just not a whole lot of collectors in my area anyway. So as long as I'm there in the morning, I can grab it. If I wait until the evening, it's done. You're never going to get it. I cannot find that on their website anywhere. It's not on there. Hot Topic exclusives. It's not in DC. It is nowhere. I am so confused, and it's starting to make me believe that they released them in areas, right? So they released them in this area, that area, and this area, but not my area, right? So that's what it's making me believe. I could be wrong.
I mean, maybe it is a demographic thing. I don't know. It definitely sounds odd.
Yeah, it does to me. And I've looked on my phone, I've looked on my laptop, I've looked on my computer. Nowhere. But I'm sure that they're going to be releasing. If anybody knows that release date, how about throw a comment over there and let me know that release date, because I cannot find it anywhere.
And Bearded, if we do that to a Wormy Pop, we're just going to have to call it Robert Pattinson.
All right, so here's the thing. I actually got two glowworms. It was kind of by accident. I think that I'm going to turn one of them into like a black light, and one of them I'm going to keep the glow. I don't really know yet, but we'll see.
You still holding on to my black light pop?
I am holding on to your black light pop. Yes, sir.
I have personally claimed that for myself.
I still got the
I don't care about it. I personally claim that.
Well, I'm trying to find something to do his face, because I didn't get his face, and that's the only part that's making him look different than the Funko version. I don't want to use the yellow or the orange, because then I think it's going to look too cheesy. So I just haven't, as soon as I get the face done.
They did use all yellow or orange on the face, huh?
Yes.
Except for Spider-Man, of course, but
right. So I'm trying to find something that's a little bit softer. I did it again. So I'm trying to find something that's a little softer. But let's go into your mystery box.
I did want to point out one thing that JKL had talked about. He says he thinks that the Blacklight DC will be a Black Friday release. I'm still up in the air if I'm going to go after these ones. As much as I like the Blacklight, I really do not like the Batman Blacklight. I think it looks like a fat Batman, and I just don't care for it personally. The Joker looks cool. I wouldn't mind picking up the Joker, but to be honest with you, that's the only one that is halfway decent to me.
Okay, so I like them because they remind me of the cartoon, not necessarily the show. It's almost like they went cartoon on them when they released the DC sides of them. I don't know that I'm going to get them though. I don't typically get a whole lot of Hot Topic exclusives unless it's something that I just have to go find. I would like to get the Batman. I've collected a lot of Batman out. I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
And Chase, expand on this one because this one's got me puzzled right here. So yeah, expand on that one, and because I'd love to know what you're talking about with the Barbie metalhead turtle. That just jumps out at me for some reason.
That one is different. OTT with G. I'm gonna make some new pops coming up here soon, and we have a giveaway that we're gonna be doing, but we're not gonna announce that right now. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I know that I'm 500 away from that, but I moved through that 500 pretty quickly. So, and I think that I'm going to do like another like custom side to that when I do it. But we'll see. We will see. We're going to get off that though. And have you came up with a mystery box pick of the week?
Not yet. I'm working on one. I've got something I'm thinking about, but I'm not ready to announce it. In fact, though, and if I get it this next week, like I'm thinking I may. I will be posting it on the Instagram site first. And I think that you and I had briefly talked about, let me bring up my calendar. I think we were playing around with a date of, I think we're going to push this one back. So 2 weeks, 20th.
For your mystery box pick of the week?
Oh, no, sorry. Mystery box. I thought we were talking about the Patreon.
No.
I think that's going to be on the 20th.
No.
So, yeah. Sorry, I keep you guys are writing so much stuff in the chat. I was trying to catch up with some of this stuff. I wanted to get a addition to what he was talking about. Was I think he said they've released a couple of hints on what they'll drop in the next couple of Black Fridays. They've shown 3 of 6 things. I can only remember one is the holiday Barbie Boo. I know they're doing a whole Barbie line. My daughter's absolutely crazy with it, and maybe I'll surprise her one of these days and bring her in on a video, and we'll just do not a battle, but a mystery box unboxing, and we'll unbox like those Barbie ones that aren't going to go in my collection, but they'll go in her collection. Right. She actually has her own little personal collection, which primarily is like Disney princess stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that.
She absolutely wants those Barbie ones.
Well, Funko has their motto, everybody's a collector of something, right? I mean, that's why they make so many different of these guys, is that so that everybody can get in on some part of it, right?
Exactly. So back to mystery box of the week. Now, I'm going to go back a little old school, and it's something that I don't currently use right now, but something I've done many videos on in the past, and I do actually have some plans on jumping back in with these guys, but doing it a slightly different way. Different way than I've done in the past, because I do like their products. But again, I think we talked about, but this had to stream. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Where is that? All right. So for this week, I'm going with Pop in the Box. Mind you, all these mystery box groups that we have, I'm telling you about them because I like them. I've worked with them before, and I plan on working with them, and but they're not sponsored. We do not get any money from these people in any way. This is just something that, again, I've had a lot of people ask me where I get mystery boxes from. I know that like our buddy Bearded gets a lot as well, and not necessarily all from the same places, but I've used Pop in the Box before, and what Pop in the Box does, and they do it slightly different than anyone else does, where a lot of times a lot of companies like Band of Arms, SMI, Spastic Collectibles, Insane Toy Shop, they just do a straight up, you just buy a mystery box of 4, 6 items, however many there may be, and you just buy it. Pop in the Box is a subscription box. Okay. What they do is they do a monthly box, and you can get anywhere from 1 a month to 12 a month, all depending on the price. I think I used to get 6 for $50 a month. And they have all different categories, which is actually the fantastic part about this, is when you go in here, they have all different categories of which you want to zone your item to. Now, what I used to do when I had this subscription is I did the Pop in the Box Classic. Now, in the beginning, fantastic. I was getting Pop in the Box exclusives, great stuff. And then as it trailed on, I seemed to get a lot of Fortnite's, anime, stuff I really didn't care much for. I mean, the Pop in the Box exclusives are great. So I did stop that subscription, but I think I'm going to go back into it because it does, for me at least, it's helpful because I don't have to go search. I just know I'm going to get, some pops every month. So I'm going to do, they have like where you can buy like three for like $20. 20, but I mean, and I think 3 pops for $20 is actually a relatively good deal. And but I'm going to do like 3 Marvel and 3 Disney, so 2 different subscriptions. And the thing that Pop in the Box does is, if you are a monthly subscriber, you automatically get 10% off anything purchased on their website.
That's a pretty good deal, or at least it sounds like one. I don't know. I don't really get into the mystery boxes.
And right now too, especially Pop in the Box, they have all kinds of deals now. Right now, they are releasing new items, that exclusive items that they have coming out, and they've got 4 new ones coming out. They've only released one, which is this Red Hood, which I think actually does look pretty badass. They have 3 other ones that are set to release. I'm thinking this is a Wonder Woman of some sort, personally. But they get tons of exclusive pops all the time, and they do a lot of sales of 5 for $40 that I have partaked in. You, of course, just like Entertainment Earth, you can do pre-orders with these guys as well.
All right, so you see Wonder Woman there. I see Thor.
You think that's Thor?
I see Thor when I see that. I mean, that looks like a Thor to me, not necessarily a Wonder Woman.
Well, I think Wonder Woman, because I know that there was some from the 1984 pops where it had her with the wings.
Right,
came in, and that's what that reminds me of a Thor or a Wonder Woman type thing. This looks like a pet rock.
Yeah, that's a pet rock.
We'll find out on the 27th. But
a pet rock.
And this one, I don't know.
I didn't think about that being wings. I thought that was just a head.
Yeah, this looks like wings to me. And then this one, to me, kind of looks like it's going to be Star Wars, something Stormtrooper, because of that gun right there. It kind of looks like a plasma.
It could be. I mean, it could be.
But Red Hood looks good. I'll probably buy him. I think I have a Pop in the Box exclusive that I pre-ordered, I think like 3 months ago. They are like Entertainment Earth. When you pre-order them, and I think I did that with the Iron Man pop. I pre-ordered it. It took them about 6 months to get it. And sometimes it is frustrating because, you see that the pop has already been released, but you have not gotten your pre-order yet. And Entertainment Earth's a lot that way too. But for me, I don't worry about it because, I know it's eventually coming.
All right. So here's where I'm going to kind of go with that, because I kind of explained this to somebody here recently. These smaller companies like Pop in the Box, Entertainment Earth, $7 a pop. These are fairly small companies, right? They're not very big. So they're the last people on the totem pole when it comes to receiving their pops. It's not like they're a Walmart. They're not a Target. They're not a Hot Topic. They're not going to get them the day that they're released. It's going to take them a little while because they're small men on the totem pole. But they also really take good care of us.
I figured you would like this one, by the way. I don't know if you saw this yet. This is a PX Previews exclusive.
I have seen that one. I haven't went after it just because of the price of it, and I have so many things on pre-order now that I'm not running after it.
I mean, I think the 6-inch Thanos Punisher pop looks cool too. I mean, the fact that the Punisher logo is purple, I mean, it just adds to it. And I know you and I have talked about some of these Deadpool ones, the Venom Pool and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, they do get some very, very nice exclusives.
Yeah, sometimes they just get too far away from me, and I just it's like everything. At some point, you have to pick and choose what you're collecting. So sometimes some of the Deadpools get away from me. The French suit Deadpool, however, did not get away from me.
I do, and I know there was a comment earlier. I'm not going to go back and find it right now, but there was a comment that somebody made about the French made one being a little creepy. I don't disagree with you on that, but I think it's got its coolness factor at the same time, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be Wayne's Halloween costume next year.
It might be. You never know. I mean, it sounds like a good one to me. I get a Deadpool outfit, throw on like a little French made outfit over the top of that. I mean, that's spot on to me. I like all stuff like that, and I think when it comes to Deadpool, I like that kind of stuff just because of the irony in it, right? You know, kind of like him with the unicorn, him in the sexy pose. It's just the irony of seeing Deadpool like that.
So I want to catch up on some of these comments real quick. OTT, you know those Barbie ones are for your secret stash. They might be, but I'm not gonna claim that by any means. So that's for you to wonder and me to know. Let's see, just like for the first week and mixed up Mr. Potato Head. That'd actually be kind of cool. Mr. Potato Head with arms, everything all out of place. That would actually be interesting.
That would be interesting. I don't. We'll have to wait and see if we're going to see that one.
So, what a bearded barbarian. You've got 2 sweet Fortnite. I've got 2 sweet Fortnite pots for you. Can't wait to send. You can keep those. In fact, I know of a good place you can send those to called the dump.
It's a dump. Come on. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? There's all kinds of really cool pops coming out, though. And so I think we decided we were going to start something new this week, which is going to be my top pop pick of the week.
Top pop pick of the week from Wayne.
Top pop pick of the week. So this is a difficult one for me because I'm a collector. And because I'm a collector, this one gets hard for me to decide. So I think that this week there's going to be 2 of them. At the beginning of the week when we first talked about this, I think that we talked about it Wednesday. If my times are on, it was going to be the Daredevil street art. So it's the Daredevil street art. If you are sleeping on that one, I would not sleep on that one very long because out of Miles Morales and the Daredevil, I almost think the Daredevil should have been the con exclusive and the Miles Morales should have been a pre-order. I'm just going to be honest. Just when you look at the Hell's Kitchen Daredevil and the Miles Morales side by side, they are clearly different, and I think that the Daredevil is 100 times cooler looking than Miles Morales.
We had to talk about these things recently.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that when they got announced for the New York Comic Con, I was all over them. Now I didn't get a chance to get one, and I believe I just realized that we have a Think Geek in this area, so I was thinking of going to go over there and get one. But here's my problem right now, and I know I talked to you about it. I've got way too many sets of pops I'm trying to go off of. You know, we got Black Lights, we got the zombies, we got Ready Player One. I've got my enormous infatuation with Marty McFly. That's just another collection that if I get one, you're gonna have to get all 6, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that yet.
Well, because I'm not a completionist, right? If I miss one out of the Deadpool or if I miss one in one of those collections, because I think I got just as many collections going on right now, if not more than what you just said. If I miss one of them in it, I'm not going to necessarily cry over it. I don't want to, but I'll be okay if I do. But then I got a package in today and I did the video and I might have changed my mind.
Have a good night.
Hey, Funko Fridge, have a good night, buddy. I might have changed my mind on my Funko pick of the week. Now, like I said, if you're sleeping on that Miles Morales, don't go sleep on that one because once that one's gone, you're going to wish you had that in your collection. But I got in the Black Light Carnage today, and I'm going to tell you, that thing is hot. Look, that is going to probably be my.
I know. I was going to ask you about that. I saw you dropped a video. How good does that look under the black light?
All right. So out of all 5 of them that I have now, I would trade all 5 for that one.
Damn, you suck.
They
need to release it again. They need to release it again.
Look, I'm just going to come right out and tell you that if that is the hottest black light pop they have come out with so far, they got the orange in the mouth and the yellow in the eyes, and he's all kind of badass. I mean, this is all kind of badass. And look, he in your box back there. Oh, he'd stand out like you've never seen. Yeah, he'd stand out like you've never seen.
Yeah, I was so sad. I missed that completely. So I'm waiting right now for Pop in the Box, or sorry, for Funko to release that again on their site. So I am one of those weird people. Again, maybe it's just because being a YouTuber of this, but I don't know about you, but I actually, other than this morning, I probably check Funko's website about every day.
I don't check them every day. I've gotten to where I'm only checking them once a week because I've discovered that it's dangerous for me to check them every day. I find new things that I want, and then it pisses me off because I'll see that they re-release something that I don't want them to re-release. And I understand why they do it. I think I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago on my Thursdays, to where I understand that they're re-releasing things like the classic Pennywise. I would have never been able to buy a classic Pennywise because of the price of him is so high. But then on the same end, the re-releasing of it diminishes the value of the original one to me. Now, I know that that's not the right way to look at it. The right way to look at it from my side is that I'm a collector. They gave me the opportunity to buy this again. So I'm going to accept that opportunity, or that olive branch, or however you want to say it. And I'm going to say thank you. But it's a two-edged sword when they do things like that. I mean, it just really is.
Exactly. So don't forget, just as Chase did point out, everybody, don't forget to smash that like button down below. And if you do not have that red subscribe button down below and you would like to join us, definitely hit that red subscribe button as well. But he, and I know Jesse Lou said he got his Daredevil, absolutely took it out.
That Daredevil's badass.
Fantastic looking item. And I am probably, I already told, it was funny. We laugh and I make a lot of jokes on the fact that, I'll be like, I'm in trouble. If I go to Think Geek or I go to Funko Hollywood, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm not going to be in trouble by any means. My wife is actually cool with a lot of me. As long as I can fund it, she doesn't care how many items I get or how much I spend on it. She knows that especially being YouTube, is going to go to something. I mean, I'm not ready to go there because I think from what you told me with Think Geek, and I've never been to a Think Geek. I'm going to be in trouble if I go to a Think Geek.
You need to go. See, so Think Geek is what GameStop. It's a GameStop without the game. So, and then they have like Hot Toys. They have Cost Babies. They have. So you're going to see the statues and the Figmas and the stuff that you don't see at GameStop. You're going to see there. Look, I love Think Geek when it comes to that. I tiptoe lightly around Think Geek because I really want to get into like Hot Toys. I really want to get into Sideshow. They have that there too. I mean, so they have a lot of your higher end collections that you're not going to necessarily see at GameStop. So you want to definitely check those guys out.
I still think you should. I think we talked about it in the past a long time ago. Should get one of those life-size Deadpools and just start sporadically placing them around the house.
Look, I would love to, but I looked at one of those the other day and they wanted like $3,000 for like the life size. Yeah, that's what I said. I almost fell over. I was like, "Are you joking?" I mean, so it's like the life size like Deadpool. They're out. Look, they're really good quality though, so I can understand like why they're so expensive. They probably don't sell very many of them a year. How many people want like a life-size Deadpool sitting around? It says Wayne, I appreciate the heads up. Star Wars pop. Go site scroll. Hey, look, no, it's anytime. And the old school ones aren't there anymore. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. And that's kind of goes back to that. I check Funko once a week because I've been doing that Thursday thing. So I get on there and check it Thursday, and I don't want them to piss me off. But hey, to what you were saying a second ago, I definitely think you're going to see that carnage in a second wave. I don't know that you're going to see it on the Funko's website. I'm thinking that maybe you'll see it on Entertainment Earth or
I still think you'll see it on Funko because that was a Funko Shop item.
Well, I mean, valid point. I guess I didn't think about that. I was thinking that maybe you'd see it on one of the secondary sites, but yeah, I think you'll see a second wave. So
I think there'll definitely be a second wave. It's just a matter of checking it out when it comes in and
just be patient. It'll come. It will definitely come through. You want to move on to today's topic, though? I mean, I think we got a pretty cool topic today.
Wow, we are way into this. We haven't even gotten to the main topic for the week.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of just depends on what we consider our main topic, right?
Exactly. You never really know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends.
We are going to bring this up. I got to get faster switching this stuff over. All right. Let me bring this guy back in. So we pulled this out. We both found this website from the Pop Collectors Alliance. And I actually went and started going through this website a little bit. And they've got some great articles in this website. I actually even ended up bookmarking them. But identifying a fake Funko. Now, he even claims in here that he already did an article like this at some point ago. But of course, as we know, people that are doing these fakes are constantly changing what they're doing and going from there. So he of course he felt he needed to bring it out. And again, I'm gonna paraphrase a lot of this.
Yeah, no, you definitely should.
But definitely, if you guys get a chance, again, not sponsored, but this is a great website. If you guys want more information, want to read this article, I didn't put it in the description down below, but popcollectorsalliance.com. Check them out. It's definitely they got some great information. But the biggest ones that we put through, of course, first of all, beware of who and where you are purchasing from.
Well, I think that anytime you're going on eBay and you're looking at a pop that's going to cost you more than, and I'm just going to say more than $50, because that's where I'm going to say like the number is. If you go on eBay and it's more than $50, you should probably try and find a shop locally that has one. I mean, because even if you had to drive 50 miles, I mean, because I have a shop that's 50 or 60 miles away that carry like some more expensive pops. I could go there and buy it. I mean, maybe I would have to wait on them to get me one, but I think that maybe it's a bad idea to go to one of those sites in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I've done eBay. I mean, but again, you got to know your research. You got to know when you're popping on a thing, you got to look before you place a bid or before you hit that buy it now on where that pop is coming from. eBay gives you that information. They tell you where the person's coming from. They tell you where it's going to be shipped from. They give you that information. Use it. Read this stuff before you press that buy it now. Because again, 99 they claim a 99.9% chance if it ships from China, it's probably a fake. If you find that great pop that's the Mandalorian special edition that it normally runs for $400 and you found it for $100
from China,
it's probably a fake.
Probably going to give you COVID.
Don't order it. You never know. But again,
so before you get off that topic, because you sell on eBay quite a lot, don't they give you like more information about the buyer? Like people rate you, you can actually look at. Is that something that we should look at? When they're buying that, shouldn't they like go through and look at the buyers? Like
I would definitely. You want to look because you want to know that the person you're buying from is a reputable person. Because you can click on the person's thing and it'll take you right to their page. It'll show you their reviews. It'll show you their star rating. It'll show you how many stars they've gotten. It shows you how many things they've sold on the website. It'll give you the reviews, and that goes into the next part of check the negative reviews or limited reviews, because a lot of times what these guys do, they just created a eBay site to sell whatever they're selling, and then they shut it down, and then so they really don't have any reviews, no star ratings, no nothing. It's really nothing on there, but yet they're selling this high-priced item for really, really cheap. I tend to stay clear from that.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a given, right? If you get on there and the seller only has sold 4 items, they're all basically the same item, you probably shouldn't spend that much money with that seller to begin with.
And here's another thing to look at, especially on eBay, because this doesn't happen often. I mean, I get it sometimes where it's on some of the ones on my store. You'll see like quantities of 1, 2, and 3. Like I still think I have 3 quantities of Tommy from Power Rangers. If anyone wants to buy one, incredibly cheap because I can't get rid of these stupid things. But typically you're going to see these large quantities. You can see the quantities of how many they have, how many they're selling, stuff like that. If you see a large quantity being sold on eBay, yeah, there's something wrong there. Typically, a person that has a large quantity of anything like that is probably going to go through Amazon. Typically, where they're going to go with the Amazon company, where you can just give it to them and they'll ship it out to you, and they take care of all the rest. Most large quantity distributors will go that route and not sell it up on eBay because eBay takes more fees.
Right. When you say large quantity, you mean like large quantity of the same pop?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're saying if the seller has like 7 or 8 John Wick chases, as I'm looking over in the chat, that maybe you should avoid those John Wick chases.
Most likely. I would personally.
It's probably a good idea not to. And look, I hate OTT that happened to you. I've never ordered any fake Funkos from eBay. I did order a fake Figma character from eBay once. That was kind of disappointing.
So and I will, once we get through this a little bit, at least this section, I will reference some of what people are talking about in the chat right now. But again, here's another thing we did talk about. You're going to look for deep discounts. Because typically, if it is too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah, I mean that's almost a given, right? And I think sometimes as collectors, we want to forget that. We want to forget that if the pop was $500 and I can pick it up for $100, that it's a good deal. No, it's most likely a fake.
And things you can do to help yourself if you're not sure and you want to contact these guys to get more information. Now, sometimes even these guys that are selling this stuff, they will contact you. They'll try to buy by you to try to get you to buy. Sometimes they may not even communicate with you at all because they know they're fake. But it says ask. You can always ask for more images. I've had that happen many a time on eBay. Even though my wife typically will post up 3-4 images from our light box of these pops. I've had some people ask me for more, and I will oblige by that. I'll give you more pictures, stuff like that. You can also always ask. They may not give you the information, but you can ask the seller if there are any members of any Facebook groups, because typically these people selling these Funkos, I mean, they only know that they're valuable and they're not part of communities. Not to say that a person is part of a community will not cheat you out. So take that one as a 50-50, I would think. Going to what we did say, check the seller's profile. If you're not sure and your stuff, check the seller's profile. You're going to get number one red flag, recently joined Facebook. So you can find these guys on Facebook. If they recently just joined eBay. It's definitely a questionable item. Limited posts and communications stand out there. Definitely limited posts, limited items, stuff like that is definitely a dead giveaway. So be cautious. Now, they do get into, of course, showing the bottom of boxes. These are things to watch out for, and even check your own collection. Now
I watched a lot of videos about this, and this is typically what they talk about is like pay attention to the boxes, right?
The details. They're very good on getting the boxes identical, but they always miss the details. Now, typically on any box, you're going to either have an imprinted item, or you will have a printed item right on the top here. Typically, you're going to find that on all Funkos. Now, older Funkos, one that's probably like this, where you see the old logo. We'll get it. This is a little bit down, but I'm going to jump ahead of myself a little bit. You can always also ask for pictures of the bottom of your Funko Pop. Because remember, those Funko Pops have numbers and have the seals on them. Older, I'll check it out when it's down there. They did say after a certain year or before a certain year, the number on the foot of the Funko Pop didn't match this number. After a certain year, all the numbers on the bottom of the pop match those numbers. So it's something to look for.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that those numbers should match the pop.
Again, it was after a particular year, I think it said, stuff like that. But like, here's a bad one. It's imprinted, but it's in the wrong spot. If we go back up here, they're typically, other than that one, if they're embossed, they're always going to be above the UPC logo.
Now, when they do that impression on the box, they're actually doing that impression with some kind of a black ink done inside the impression. So it's almost like a stamp that they did the impression with. It actually turns it black just like that. So I just noticed that the other day that they had changed that up a little.
Plus, I did check a couple websites to verify because I wanted some picture reference. If you look at this one, this is one of Funko's. Their impressions are always pushed in from the outside, whereas this bad one right here is pushed in from the inside.
Well, and I think somebody told me at one time that these companies actually do little things to make them different to save them from being, copyrights and trademark agreements and stuff like that. They purposely do some things wrong on purpose.
Mm-hmm. And these numbers do mean something. They actually are the license numbers, typically from manufacturers to what am I thinking? What's in my head?
It's a SKU.
Yeah, it's basically a SKU. So they do mean something. and you can look them up. And I believe you can even contact Funko and have them check the numbers as well.
Well, those SKUs normally mean the product type, the year, the date. I mean, it's normally everything to do with the manufacturing process.
Exactly. Before we get into the box art, I wanted to see if we have an. Okay, they're just going. I just want to check the chat real fast. So we get into box art now. These people are getting very, very good at their box art. But there are particular things you can look out for. And I didn't realize this until they pointed this out. And I started looking at some of my pops, and this is true. On this, you definitely want to look, because if you can notice the difference between here, the thickness, it doesn't technically really match too well. It's much thicker. Funko typically keeps that edging fairly close to.
They keep it really nice and clean. Really, I did know that was one of the things that you want to look for. You want to look for that gap on that character and just see how much of a gap he has. And sometimes go back to that image. Oh, okay, so they're showing it right here. Go ahead. Sometimes it even goes into the actual like writing and all as well. Mm-hmm. So it's got a larger gap through there than it should.
Exactly. So that isn't normal. That Funko doesn't do that. They're a lot more detailed than that is. Of course, this is a clear indicator. Of course, you've got no name up top, so no actual, because we all know Funko is not going to leave that spot blank. But here's where they get you with stickers, and always check this out. So they got stickers made. They can get stickers made, but they don't have that copyright Funko logo on the top of the sticker.
What I was actually told that's something that they do on purpose. They leave little things off like that, so that if in the event that it did come back to them, they could say, "Oh no, see, we didn't do it like they did. It's different." And that would save them from lawsuits and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that way, they can't get sued from Funko themselves,
right,
for making these fakes. And they also, like I said, the counterfeits do contain different fonts in the UPC code. You can definitely check that out if you go into. I found some good ones in Reddit. There's a couple of threads that talk about fakes. And they have some pictures of some of these different fonts they use on the UPC code. Mind you guys, UPC code fonts are universal.
Yeah.
They're typically always the same. So if you see anything that's out of the normal from a typical font, it's definitely a sure indication. I want to say Bearded Barbarian he said, make sure you check the box quality too. Those fake boxes are super thin and flimsy and much more flexible in most cases. That is a damn good point. I did read that on Reddit. Somebody did point that out. It's really a thin cardboard. It's, as we all know, we've got a lot of, anyone that's collected, you've got a lot of pop boxes. Compare your boxes. And that's an easy way to catch as well. Coloring, it can vary though. That I've had things where sometimes you see the coloring between the image on the front and what's in the back looks different, but that's not always. Funko does change those from time to time, but there are some blatant differences. Now here's a good one that at first I wasn't as attention to details. Fake, real. What did they miss? The blood splatter.
Yeah, I mean, the devil's always in the details, right? And you can even see it in the stickers themselves, that the stickers themselves are two different colors. So one of them's got a blue font, one of them's got a black font. It doesn't have the blood splatter. The devil is always in the details when it comes to that kind of stuff. And you were talking about the box quality. I think that's one of them that I've seen a lot, was just look at the box quality, because if the quality's not in the box, then you know that it's not a Funko.
I'm gonna go back to a comment that I think Fabian just made. It says half of my collection is probably fake. I see a pop even at the dollar store. I'm buying it. I've never seen a pop at the dollar store, to be honest with you.
I haven't either.
But wouldn't necessarily say that is a fake, because again, that's depending on the retailer. They're not going to put their name, especially if it's a bigger retailer. They're not going to put their name at risk to be putting out fakes. Now, of course, to a certain point, they put out knockoffs, which is, there's actually a difference, I think, between a knockoff and a straight up fake.
Right. But going to what Fabian just said right there, he says, I don't care, right? Now, there is some people out there that they don't care. If they got a Jollibee and it's a fake and they got it for $10 versus $50, they simply don't care. And I'm okay with that as long as that person's okay with that. Look, it's so I guess I want to like emphasize that we're pointing out to how you can catch the fakes. But if it doesn't bother you and you're not bothered by it, well, it doesn't bother me neither. So it's ride with it and run with it as long as you're happy.
Exactly. And, just like OTT said, he says the same thing. He's got some, he keeps it in a special collection. Again, it's reading this started making me think to check some of mine, but I don't believe I have any because I know where I've bought all mine. I know where they've come from. So I started checking some that maybe I was curious, and I mean, they hit all the right marks. So as far as I know, I don't have any fakes personally, but something to check up on. So OTTUG Dollar Store has them. Some of them are real. Some of them are really, really cheap knockoffs. But you got to say too, I think the ones that Dollar Store probably had is those are the ones that maybe they came from GameStop, and GameStop just wanted to get rid of giant pallets of these things for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't know that the Dollar Store had them. I'm going to have to go look now and see if they have any of them that I'm interested in.
My wife's at the Dollar Store all the time. I know she saw Pops there. She would let me know, and I don't think she's ever seen any, but I'll have to tell her to start keeping an eye out a little bit.
But that goes back to some people just don't care if they're a faker or not. And if they don't care, I mean, I don't care. I think what I want to let everybody know though is we just wanted to point out, right? We just wanted to point out what to look for. And if you don't care, that's cool. I mean, that's cool with me. Look, I've almost bought a fake Jollibee a couple of times just because. And the fake Funko Freddy Statue of Liberty, I've almost gotten that one a couple of times.
If you're okay with it, then that's good with you.
Right.
Or if you're a person that doesn't want fakes, then these are things to point out. But again, just things to keep an eye on, because it's just like with any big collection item, if it's worth making a fake of, there's going to be fakes out there. It's just it's the nature of the beast.
That's just the way it goes. Anytime you start getting money involved in stuff, and then it starts getting all kind of messed up and crooked. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
And here's one that, to be honest with you, they just weren't even trying. This is a Jason Voorhees fake.
Oh my God, what is this thing?
This is absolutely horrible. And this is a Jason Voorhees real.
Go back to the other. Why is his face so messed up?
It's a fake. It's a fake. It's. I mean, you can see the details. You see the bags on his nails. You see the dirtiness on there. I mean, the eye. Look at that. I mean, that eye looks a little smaller, and this one didn't even try. There's no real detail to this thing at all. The color is completely off. It's a bad fake, to be honest with you. All the way around.
It's pretty rough, but you know that their molds almost look identical. So it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder, right? So when you start putting things over in China and you have them manufacturing them for you, it makes me wonder if that same factory is producing the knockoffs, right? If that same factory is producing them in the back door somewhere and just carrying them out and then making their own boxes somewhere else. I mean, it really makes me question that right there, because their molds look really close to each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very, very close, especially the body. The face, I think, is a lot harder at times for them to fake. The bodies, I think, are fairly easy.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that statement. It's the faces that I tend to look at, though, not so much the bodies, because say the bodies on Funkos look pretty like universal. Exactly. Right. I mean, they're pretty like universal things. Bearded Barbarian says, as long as you pay $5 for a fake. Well, that's what I meant when I said I've almost bought like the Jollibee and I've almost got the Freddy Funko Statue of Liberty. No, I clearly knew they were fakes, and it was clearly priced as a fake. It wasn't. They weren't trying to pass it off as the real thing.
And again, back to that UPC code on the bottom. You can always check those. Now, he did say that some of the older ones, they did have them underneath the chin.
Some of them still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them still have it under the chin.
Find those codes other than the foot. But it seems like majority of them are always going to be on the foot or on the bottom. So, but again, points. Those are just some good items to look for. Of course, it's not everything out there. There's definitely more ways that these guys are trying to find different ways to cheat you, try to scam you, and try to get money from you. So, Those are just some things I think to look forward. And I think when Wayne and I were talking about topics for this week, he brought that up and we started looking at the different stuff. And I just thought, well, to be honest with you, I've heard about fakes. I've never put a lot of thought into it.
Right. But one of the things I was looking at the chat room over there, and somebody said something about stickers. You have to be really careful with the stickers anymore because they've gotten so good at that they actually sell like con stickers on eBay. So you could go to eBay and take your con pops, take the stickers off, and then put con stickers on there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying to do that because I think that's a very dishonest thing to do. But there are some people out there that are actually doing that. And when you look at those stickers on eBay, unless those stickers get bigger when they ship them to you, they look identical to the ones that they have sitting on the pop.
And like Beardman said if you pay $5 for a fake one, that's one thing. But if you pay $200
right,
because you thought it was a real thing, that's the problem.
Yeah. It's when they're trying to deceive you into believing that it's the real thing that becomes an issue.
What is it? Fabian said, see, but honestly, Mr. Techbot, if I had that and it was a fake, as long as I had the box. What are you talking about? The Jason Voorhees?
Yeah, I think he's saying it.
I wouldn't even want that Jason Voorhees. That fake Jason Voorhees was just flat out ugly.
Yeah,
no detail to it, no nothing.
You definitely would have to like make it look rough.
I wouldn't even pay $5 for it. I don't even think they could pay me to take that damn thing.
It was a rough one. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was a rough one.
So one of the things I was going to bring up real fast was, of course, sometimes I like to. Oh no, there's actually nothing really. I was going to bring up the Funko Instagram, but they really don't have a whole lot.
Yeah, there's not really anything on there. But Bearded Barbarian, going to what you're saying right there. So when you have things produced over in China, especially when it comes to like plastics, because plastics is a big thing that you have produced over at China. The only reason that I know this is because I used to run a blow mold here in Sturgis, Michigan. I used to run their blow mold department, so it was all plastics. I kind of know a lot about that kind of stuff. You push stuff over to China because you can get it done really cheap. So as to where I would have a table done here for $5 or $4 is what it would cost me. I could have it made in China for $1. All right. So, but here's the messed up side to that is you can't physically control what their manufacturers do with your molds once you hand it to them. So once you hand them your mold, and you say, this is my mold, I need 100,000 of these, they're going to make you 100,000, but they might make 150. And they might sell those 50 on their market somewhere else. And even though it's your design and it's your mold and it was your plastic that you had there for them to use, you can't physically control what they do, right? Because China's a communist country. They do what they want to do. And so I could honestly see the pops coming out of the fakes coming out of the same manufacturer that Funko is using, just like the Beats by Dre, the Jordans. I mean, once you go to that market, it becomes really hard to stop that kind of stuff from happening.
And also, especially if you find Funko Pops on Wish.com, I'm probably sure that's a fake.
What is up with the Wish.com? Because you're not the only person that I've heard say that.
Wish.com is horrible. It came out with like this big old thing, all these items that are cheap, price up. And I am one that if any of you guys in they're still in the chat right now, if you bought from Wish.com, what I'm talking about on this. It's basically all Chinese knockoffs. It's cheap stuff, extremely cheap. We're talking 90% off of original item. I mean, really, really cheap. And then you get it and you realize, okay, this is really, really cheap. You buy a shirt, you go wash it, and it's disintegrated.
Yeah, well,
Wish.com is horrible.
You're not the only person, though, I've heard say just stay away from Wish.com.
Wish.com has just turned into a butt end joke.
There must be something to it. Like I said, you're not the only person that I've ever heard say that. Funko leaks. I actually found a Funko leak the other day. I haven't found one in a long time, and I think that you're going to appreciate this one. WandaVision. What do you know about WandaVision?
Ooh, okay. So WandaVision. Don't know a ton about the premise. I know it's going to be incredibly important to the timeline that they're building for the next phase. Was it phase 4 we're technically in right now? I do know that there are rumors that there's things that are connecting Black Widow movie with WandaVision with Falcon and Winter Soldier. They're all supposed to be connected in some way. There have been leaks done so far from Falcon Winter Soldier of a very important mutant. I'm not going to drop the names by any means. You can. I don't think the photo is up there anymore, but you can definitely hear information about it. To where now we're going to start inquiring where the mutants were the entire time. Now, mutants I'm talking about, not X-Men. Trust me, there's no Wolverine, but of course, there's a huge world of mutants in X-Men, not just the main X-Men by themselves. But WandaVision, it looks fantastic. I love that, and I want to see how it meshes in with her wearing the original Black Scarlet outfit with the headpiece and everything. I think it looks fantastic. When I saw that image of her wearing that, I was like, wow.
All right, so the leak shows a 2-pack for the ECC 2021, and it's going to be Quicksilver and Vision. So it's supposed to be Quicksilver and Vision. I don't
what's this for?
It's for WandaVision. So I don't know how that like correlates with WandaVision.
Well, what's this exclusive for?
The ECC, so it'd be Emerald City Comic Con.
Oh, they already announcing those?
Well, I think that it was kind of one of those that kind of slid out there in the crack somewhere, and I'm going to kind of trust the source. It's one of the guys on Instagram, and the reason I'm trusting his source is because it's also the same one that gave us the 10-inch Stormtrooper. He gave us the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. He gave us a lot of them that actually like has been out there now. So I'm going to trust him as a source for now, but it's supposed to be for the Emerald City Comic Con 2021. It's a 2-pack.
Well, I know they had. I mean, they have a whole, and I don't know if it's released yet. I don't know those dates, but they have the full set of WandaVision pops coming out off of the show. Now, of course, Disney still hasn't released a date for that show to come out yet, but I have not heard anything about this, to be honest with you. And maybe our great source of information, JKL, is slacking over there, but I'm not going to hold that against him. But I'm trying to see what we have, what there might be, and I may have to start checking out Reddit tonight to see what I can find. But I did not hear about this at all.
So the other leak that they have going on is that there's going to be 7 new Target exclusives coming out between now and Christmas. Now, my guess on those 7 exclusives are going to be some more art series, because Target seems to have the art series like held down right now. And I also think that it's going to be a Black Light. So one of the leaks is that we're going to see a Black Panther Black Light pop. I really believe that one's going to be coming. So
if they release that, I want that so bad.
So if they do, I think that's going to be one of the 7 that's going to be between now and Christmas. It's going to be a Target exclusive. I would be venturing that maybe we're going to see that one come into their Black Friday. I'm just spreading the information, right? Say what?
I'd like to see a Hulk Black Light too.
I think that we're eventually going to see all the Marvel characters in the Black Light. And I think that in the 7 that they're talking about that will be between now and Christmas, you're going to see in the art series, you're going to see in the Black Light, because they've really held that art series down. So far, they're the only ones that's had the Marvel Black Lights, other than the Funko Shop, right? But that's not really their competitor, right? That's not a Walmart.
Target
that's
seems to be putting up some big money to get some exclusive.
I think they do. But see, they have good reason behind that, because it draws us in to look at their Funkos, and maybe I buy a camera while I'm there, maybe I buy a Coke while I'm there, but it's a draw to get me in there. But there's so many other things that I might purchase while I'm in there that I would have never done any other time. But I just run in Target to get their pops and run out. So I guess that's not necessarily working for me, but it might at some point, right? I might buy a Mountain Dew or a Coke or something to that effect. I want to kind of go over some of the Walgreens stuff too. I feel like as collectors, we've been sleeping on our Walgreens collection.
I agree too. See, Walgreens, I think they went through like they were getting a lot of pops, and then they went through like this lull about midway through the year where they just weren't getting a whole lot. Because I used to get some really great items. I remember when they had the movie Monster ones at Walgreens exclusive and some other ones, and I thought they were really great. But they got a fantastic line that I think a lot of people slept on. And I've only got one of them, and I'm actually going to be doing a video on it later next week. But that captain looking one looks fantastic.
Look, I honestly believe that we've been sleeping on Walgreens, and if you've been sleeping on Walgreens, you should probably go check. So here recently, I was in Walgreens, and I noticed that they have the Octa Spider-Man, the Spider-Man with all the arms running around him. That's a Walgreens exclusive. They have tons of them there, and they have now what they call an Iron Hammer. So it's Iron Man that had some kind of like massive hammer. You know much more about that than I do, because I'm sure that like goes into a comic book somewhere. But they have those two exclusives sitting at my local Walgreens. They probably have 8 of each. They're not selling, but here's the problem I see with them sitting there. People come to Walgreens to get medication, and they have to wait, and they wait with their kids, and their kids run around the store. Their kids run around, they pick this stuff up, they play with it, they bang the box up. So before you know it, you won't be able to get one with a clean box if you're sleeping on it. So if you see that it's a Walgreens exclusive and don't sleep on it, go pick that up, because you're going to mess up and you're not going to be able to get one with a clean box.
It's a hit or miss too. I mean, just like, Beer Barbarian says boxes are trash. Sometimes we're some Walmart. It really depends. My Walgreens, and I know I've got some pop collectors in the area because I've seen them. Just like me, I'll go into Walgreens and specifically look at the toy aisle, see if there's anything I want, and I walk out.
Right.
And I've seen guys do it too. And so I haven't had too many. The pops that I've had some banged up boxes, but I'd probably say a good 80% of my boxes I've got from Walgreens are clean. In fact, the one I bought recently, it's a clean box, very clean. Right. It all depends on where you're getting them from and how much traffic they get. Really, I think that's where it comes from.
Really, I'm going to tell you, I truly believe that the problem is that people they sleep on them, right? So you're sleeping on it, and then the kids damage them. They sit there too long, too many hands get put on them. So if you're sitting there and you see that something's going to be a Walgreens exclusive, go check them out. Don't sleep on that. I mean, because I feel like if you're sleeping on that, you're not going to get it.
I would agree. I would start making if you make your rounds at a Target, a Walmart, I would definitely consider starting to add Walgreens to your a list of places to keep an eye on, because they do get some great stuff, and I have found some great items that I didn't even that isn't just Walmart exclusives, stuff that I walked in, I'm like, oh crap, they have this pop, I'm grabbing that thing.
Now, I do think that we're going to see a Marvel side to the art series, just like we've seen a DC side to the Black Lights. So I think that we're going to see a Marvel side to the artist series. I mean, so far they've got Batman, they've had the Jack. We really hadn't went into the Marvels. I think that some of the first Marvels we're going to see are going to be the X-Men, just because they've been pushing them out so hard. And I don't really know who's going to be the first X-Men, but we'll have to wait and see how that one goes.
But this comment, Barbarian, I don't think that's not just Walgreens though. I have, especially the Target in my recent area. What's funny is I've gone to, I think we have about 5, 6 that I can drive to within a 30-minute radius. And my closest one, anytime I've gone there during like release days or something like that, every single one of those employees, like especially I'm going to ask if they got any more, they're always annoyed that, especially that and they give me that look like you're a grown man trying to buy toys. One of the last times, I think during the San Diego Comic-Con, I went there and they had some cyborg Supermans, and they're cut on top.
Yeah, I actually picked up G.I. Joe cut on top. I didn't care.
I'm like, really? So I was like, but then I've gone to some other Targets where they're completely cool. They understand. Majority of these people buying Funko Pops are not kids people.
No.
Stop thinking just because it's a toy, it's for kids. These are collectibles.
Well, Funko doesn't consider them toys, and I don't necessarily consider them toys neither. They're collectibles. They're collectible. I mean, look, I would even go so far as to say that they're a high-end collectible, and this is why I would say it. Well, just because they're priced a little bit under like Hot Toys and Sideshow and stuff like that, you buy a lot more of these than you do a Sideshow or one of those. So if a Sideshow cost me $100, I bet I bought 10 pops that I could have bought a Sideshow with. The difference is they spread it out over 10, right? Versus the one. So they're still a collectible. They'll always be a collectible. I see that JKL is sending stuff to our messages. I'll check that
Is
out.
that what that is?
Yeah, no, I'll check that out after we're done here.
Hold on, he's sending photos. So if he's sending photos, there's something good there.
Yeah, I seen that he was sending us some stuff over, and that's what I was thinking, that he must have been sending us something. JKL, while you're doing that, how about you?
That's only because I called him out on not keeping us up to date with the WandaVision stuff. Looks like it's going to be Vision and Quicksilver. Ooh.
Yeah, Vision and Quick. Did I say? That's what I said.
Hold on. That brings a whole new element to this.
Vision and Quicksilver.
We all know Quicksilver had died in Avengers 2: Age of Ultron.
They're saying that that's an Easter egg, that we're going to see him come back here at some point. That they're trying to give us some insight as to what's going on. That we
brings a new element to that.
Yeah. They're saying that that's a little bit of an Easter egg, and
but
that
it's going to be like a dream sequence because he's dead.
And well, I mean, you know how they write people back in, right? He didn't get put in a shredder, did he?
By the way, there is an Easter egg going around the internet. Whether this is true or not, from Marvel, it's going to be released somewhere between whenever Black Widow ever decides to come out, and some of the TV series that we are going to finally see. And it was never a widely big comic book, but I do remember seeing there is going to be the Ghost Widow coming out. And I'm not going to go too much. If you guys want to know who the Ghost Widow is, definitely get into this. This is going to bring a whole, if this is true, this is going to bring a whole new twist, and also explain why they decided to go back in time to show a prequel and place Black Widow in after Civil War, and how that ties into the events going on now.
Right. Look, I love it when they start putting Easter eggs and stuff. To me, it's really cool. But that's definitely a 2-pack that I'm sure that we're going to see. I'm sure that we're seeing that 2-pack.
So from our great buddy JKL, who keeps us informed, because this guy, where he gets his knowledge of stuff, it's crazy. They do have, of course, they did announce these. I did see these. I don't think these are going to be a con exclusive, but to get the luchadors, the Marvel Luchadors. I don't know if you've seen those. They have been announced already. It's basically like you know what a luchador is, right?
Not a clue. Not even.
If I am saying that wrong, and anyone is yelling at their screen, going, you're completely saying, I say a lot. I pronounce a lot of things wrong. So it's basically, the Mexican wrestlers.
Oh yeah. No, I know what you're saying. They're I can't think of the way you say that. You said that totally wrong though.
Oh, I know.
They're the Nacho Libres. They're I can't say.
The way it's spelt on here is it seems funny. So that's one of the reasons I was going with it. But then there's also something coming out called Marvel Tech, and it's Captain America, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Hulk, and Thor. I don't know what Marvel Tech is.
Well, I think it's going to be the cyber, kind of like you've seen the cyber Superman and a few of the different DC characters they did in the cyborgs. That's what I think you're going to see. I mean, they have the comic books that have the cyborg. So, I mean, it wouldn't be that far off to me. And I think a lot of times when we see the pops, they're coming from a comic book when it comes to an action figure, right? Unless it's coming from a movie series or the Rock series. If it's coming from an action figure, or I say an action figure, I mean like a superhero or however you want to look at that. If it's coming from one of those guys, you can almost guarantee it come out of a comic book. And if you look at Funko, they tend to follow the comic books. And I don't know if that's a licensing agreement. Sometimes I think that's probably part of the license agreement. Says, hey, look, you can't just make up your own Iron Man. It has to exist out here in our comic book world somewhere.
Is that the hashtag road to 700 for me? I've been on the road to 700 for too damn long. But I'm not worried about it. I'm just enjoying myself. I'm having fun and seeing where this thing goes. So I'm not worried about it. But I do appreciate it if that's what that is connection to. So I always appreciate it, Christina. Did want to go back up. Just it had said, I want to see an art series of Iron Man. That would be actually pretty awesome.
Well, they've been pretty slow at making the art series. So if whatever character we see, we're going to see that one character done multiple times. And I don't know what the first one's going to be in the Marvel world, only because I'm not the super Marvel geek, as you know. I mean, I'm more into the DC line. I expected to see Batman is the first like artist series that they came out with. I don't necessarily know who's going to be the first one for Marvel. It could be Captain America if I was speculating. I'd say that Captain America has a really good chance of like making that as the first. I want to say Hulk, but I don't think Hulk really has the cult following that some of your other Marvel characters have. So I mean, there's I don't really know. You would have to
got a bigger following than I think people give him credit for.
Yeah, but do you think that he has the Captain America cult following? Would you say
I don't think he's got the Captain America cult following, but you know, he's the one character that I don't think got this full due justice within the movies. Only because I don't disagree with Edward Norton's version of Hulk. I actually am still a big fan of Edward Norton, but I have heard he is extremely difficult to work with, and that's what pushed him out of Marvel.
I really liked his version of Hulk.
Huh?
I really liked his version of Hulk.
I did. Now, I mean, especially if you remember, I think was it early 2000s. They did bring out a Hulk movie with Eric Bana.
Yeah,
we all like to forget about that movie because it was horrible, 100% horrible, unrealistic. It was most Marvel fans want to forget about that movie, but Edward Norton did bring Hulk back and made it a very good movie. There were a lot of characters within that if you actually go back and watch it that we still haven't seen, and I think we are actually going to be bringing some of those characters back into the fold in the next couple phases. So do remember those. So if you don't remember what I'm talking about, go back and watch The Incredible Hulk because there is stuff that's going to come from there. But other than that one movie, you didn't get any more Incredible Hulk. We didn't get an answer as to, and we're supposed to at some point, how he went from in the 5 years from Infinity Wars to Endgame, and he became, the Hulk that we saw in Endgame. Although he talked about it, we really didn't see the details on that. So we're supposed to eventually see more details on that, but I don't think Hulk got his due diligence. There was more Easter eggs and there was more stuff that I think they could have made a second Hulk movie from, but I think because of the contract with Edward Norton, it made it a little bit more difficult.
Now, see, I'm still kind of like biased to Luke Ferrigno. Now, I know that Luke Ferrigno never really spoke as the Hulk. You had Bruce Banner and Luke Ferrigno were totally different in that. So I'm still kind of biased into that's my favorite Hulk, but I still think that he played a really good Hulk.
And by the way, Chase, I may hit you up on Insta for that one. So
I might hit you up. And look, I see that we're saying like maybe a Spider-Man. Look, we might see a Spider-Man in the art series first, but in my opinion, because you can do so much with Captain America. Captain America has his shield. He has so much more surface area to work with, I guess is the best way I'm going to put that. I think that Captain's going to be the first one we're going to see. We'll see 4 or 5 or maybe 6 of the Captain Americas first.
Actually, if we're going to sit back and look at this, if we're going to talk about this is, with Marvel, if you're going to sit back and go, okay, what is the most popular Marvel character out there?
I don't really know. I think that each one of them has their different like following. So I don't truly know.
The overall majority, from what I've been able to gather, and again, I could be completely wrong, but this is things that I went and some of them are already getting on there in the chat a little bit. But the most popular Marvel character, he also has probably, I think, some of the longest running lines of comic books because he also has one of the greatest villain lineups of all time is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character ever to be made.
Well, no, I agree with that statement. The same reason why they put the Black Light Spider-Man with the T-shirt, right? Because they knew people were going to buy it irregardless. Mm-hmm. They knew that you were going to get it with the T-shirt, even though it costs a little bit more money. You were going to get it because it was Spider-Man. But I sit back and think that they released all 5 of those at the same time, so that it has to put Captain America somewhere in there. And then I just look at the surface area that I have to work with as an artist. If I stood back and said, which one of these do I want to put art on first? I want to say Captain America is the one that I would want to go after because of the surface area. I'm not
going to put dates to any of these, but I know that if we're looking at dates again, I would have to reference some of our comic book friends for this, like Adrian or something. But I believe that of course, Iron Man and Cap were some of the earliest creations. and these can be found. Yeah, I think those are back in the 1930s. Yeah, I believe Golden Age. So it had to be 1930s, and they came out. I know that the original Iron Man, it wasn't even an Iron Man comic. It was named something else, and but that thing goes for about 10 to 20 grand for that comic alone. And it is, I mean, if you can find one, nonetheless. But I think that's why those are important, because they did start it. I don't think, again, I'm not going to go date, or at least a specific date, but I don't think Spider-Man actually got introduced until closer into the I'd like to say late 1940s, 1950s.
Well, Stan Lee come out with a lot of characters before Spider-Man. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean and this goes back to, I think, a character that we were originally talking about that's supposed to be a 10-inch this holiday season, that I give 100% credit to him. Not my brand, but he was the first superhero of all superheroes, which was Superman.
Absolutely. I really want that 10-inch, and I have a speculation. My feelings are going to be that it's going to be a Friday 10-inch pop. They have the Chase variants with it, is why I think it's going to be a Friday. So what I think is going to happen on Black Friday is you're going to have 4 or 5 of them plus a Chase, and it's going to be whoever is there to grab the Chase when they say go, right? I mean, so that person is going to, and look, I'm going to go after those because I am a Superman fan. Is I know you almost have to be a Superman fan if you are a superhero fan at all, because he is the very first one that probably not the very first one in existence, but he was the very first one in the United States to have his own comic book.
But the other reason I do bring up Spidey as being the most popular character of all time, that's exactly the only reason you're only going to ever see Spidey is going to be the only character that's going to be able to come, that's going to be presented for many years. I really think that Fox and Disney are going to strike up a huge multi-year deal with Spider-Man, because we all know Fox is building up a universe. They're building up an MCU style universe based on the Spider-Verse. So they're trying to get to that point. But I think Spider-Man is still going to be the only character in all of Marvel movies that is going to be able to jump between both universes.
Well, I think that's been a pretty common thing, though. They always have Spider-Man jumping from universe to universe. I mean, it's done it so much that it confuses me on who Spider-Man is. You know, I start saying Miles Morales is Spider-Man, and then you have the different suit Spider-Mans. I mean, so they get kind of confusing when they continuously do that forever.
I'm just trying to.
I've kind of seen some of the comments over there. So do you have anything going on this week that you want to tell us about?
Of course, I got Techbot After Dark.
That's tomorrow.
I have another plug just for yours. After we watch the show today, I've got a little bit of training I got to do, and then I've got to get caught up on what just released today, which is the Mandalorian episode
2.
So if you guys don't know and you guys are available, Wayne, go ahead and give us a time. We do a show.
3:30 tomorrow. So me and some of the guys, we all get together, we hang out, we talk about the Mandalorian. So since season 2 started, we did the trailer, we did episode 1. Tomorrow at 3:30, we're going to do the episode 2 of season 2, which they kind of have the child on the front of this one as a teaser. I have not watched it yet. Me and my wife are going to sit down and watch it tonight. It's just kind of a ritual of the things we do. And then tomorrow, if you want to come hang out, it'll be Mr. Techbot, JB from Discovery Bay Comics, JKL, and then FET Frequency. We'll all be on there. We'll just be giving you our ideas as to where we think this is going. It will tell you what we think about this one. JKL will have found all the Easter eggs for us.
Oh,
that's why we love it.
He found things that I did go back and watch it a second time, and it made sense now, but I would have never pegged out most of those Easter eggs he picked out. I mean, this guy's like a freaking robot when it comes to Star Wars.
Right. So
I'm sorry, he is.
if you guys want to come hang out with us, just come and chat. I mean, because it's all about us guys just hanging out. Look, I don't go. I think JB said this to us one day, and while we were talking, I don't go to the cul-de-sac and talk to my neighbors about stuff like this. I come on here and hang out with you guys. So if you want to come hang out with us, come hang out. We're going to be talking about it. And look, I'm probably very selfish in this one because I get like a lot of enjoyment out of talking to you guys about like what's going on and what your thoughts are, and how do you see it playing out from here forward. So it's just a lot of fun. Come hang out
you
with
guys,
us.
if you did not watch the show before our live stream, beware of spoilers.
Yes, because we're definitely going to spoiler alert everywhere.
We talked about the whole episode. It's going to become, and we may eventually have to keep this up eventually when WandaVision comes out, and some of the other Marvel shows that Disney Plus is putting on that we are all looking forward to. But Mandalorian, of course, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I absolutely love The Mandalorian. It's a great, great show. I did want to go back on what somebody did correct me on. Sony is Spider-Man. If I said Fox, well, there's no point in saying that anymore because Disney owns Fox. So, but yes, it is Sony. If I said that incorrectly, it happens sometimes.
Right.
So what is the Barbarian going on about? If I head over, Wayne, could you not do any spoilers since I won't watch by then?
Look,
that show is 100% spoilers.
It is 100% spoilers. I mean, we are talking about what we watched, right? From beginning to end. We're talking about what happened at the beginning. And look, I think that last week I even brought up that it really reminds me of an old Western, a modern day Western. And I think that the majority agree that that's a lot what they've been going with. So there's going to be tons of spoilers, tons and tons and tons of spoilers.
Sorry, I got taken back by a comment. Very Barbarian went, and this could be interesting if Funko ever thought of this, but they need to make a 10-inch soda pop in a liter bottle. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I see that we have somebody that joined us that says, "Hi, friends. I'm Somos is how I'm going to say that. I'm sure that I said that wrong. Somos, we're happy to see you.
He could probably tell me how to say luchador correctly.
Well, you're saying it wrong again. You should just stop saying that word. You're slaughtering it. Look, you should just stop saying it. It's just say it's an what did I say earlier?
Mexican
I said
wrestler.
It's a libre. It's a libre. Whatever. I'm gonna quit trying to slaughter that one. I can't say it.
Isn't a luchador the bullfighters?
Yeah, I don't. It's.
Oh yeah, I completely got that wrong.
You're just slaughtering it. Just stop slaughtering it. Anything else going on next week you want to tell us about?
2 videos. I think they're mainly going to be based around Funkos. I did get my new band boxes in, but I'm probably going to push those off for a couple weeks. Although I finally got a Funko Pop in a band box this week. If you didn't catch that yet, I dropped that yesterday. Fantastic sign Funko Pop. And then of course the lives next week. Lives, of course, we do it every Friday, 6:00 p.m. And then I do Techbot After Dark. I think I might keep it the 9 o'clock hour on Techbot After Dark, where we kind of we talk about anything. Nothing's off the table. Although I promise nothing about my continuous bashing of Robert Pattinson Batman. I promise nothing.
You're gonna have to stop. You got to give the man a chance. You're just gonna have to. Give
what doesn't mean, and I said it in the live. It doesn't mean I won't go watch the movie, but I watched the movie just to validate my point.
He said, "I'm just going to use it to validate my point as he's a bad Batman." Like, I don't really have anything different going on next week. I have some artist series stuff coming up. I've got the regular unboxing. I've started doing the Throwback Thursdays at 3:30. Look, I did it at that time because that's what time works for me. If it doesn't work for you, don't feel obligated to come show up for that. We're doing The Mandalorian as a group. We're doing that group review on Saturdays now. And then, I mean, really, that's it. Other than that, we're just waiting to see you at Techbot After Dark.
Yeah, come by, hang out. Both. We got 2 lives tomorrow. So come by, hang out with us. If you can't make one, make the other. If you can't make them both, hey,
that's we totally understand. And we have our Patreon only giveaway coming up soon. Or I don't think we really nailed down when we were going to do that.
We talked about that. It's either going to be next week or the 20th. It's
Right,
going to
so
be
we'll-
in the next couple of weeks.
We'll announce that soon when that's going to be coming
when
up.
I decide, I'm going back and forth doing a couple of pops I'm going to do, and I will actually put a post on Patreon before I announce it anywhere else on what that giveaway item will be for Patreon only members. So if you are not a Patreon only member and you want a chance for, we do this every single month, both channels. Again, this is not the same Patreon for both of us. We each have one that goes on. It's only $6 a month for your chance for a Funko Pop. And the thing is, we did this solely just so because we liked doing giveaways, but we didn't want to just put out, mediocre, pops. The money we get from these goes towards the giveaways because we want to try to find you guys good, classic, quality giveaways. And that's where that comes from. So, go ahead and hit that up. Again, if you want to become a Patreon member, go ahead and hit that Patreon subscribe. I think Wayne's got 2 levels. I'd never changed mine. I've still got the 1 level. I've been toying around with adding a upgraded level, but that may be something that's going to take a little while because, of course, Wayne and I, we don't make decisions very quickly on a lot of
It takes a while. It takes a while. So Michelangelo from SDCC is going to be the WayneKo Patreon giveaway this coming month. Yeah, so I threw him in there this month. So it's a pretty solid one, I think.
I've thought about giving that one away, but for some reason I still want to hold on to him a little bit more. But I don't know. We'll see. It's just kind of like the Black Lightning. I don't have really that much ties to him, but that one will be in a giveaway eventually. Maybe not this one, but it will. Black Lightning will be in a giveaway within time.
Within time.
So, and bearded dancing girls, probably not. Cursing, very possible. Who knows? Again, it's Techbot After Dark. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything goes. So, but yeah, I can guarantee you no dancing girls unless you really don't want to see me dancing. So, I don't even want to see that.
Hey, you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah. So again, guys, we want to thank you guys for joining us, hanging out with us again on this Friday night. We know there's a lot of live channels out there, and definitely try to check out as many as you can. But if you have not done so already, go ahead and see that thumbs up down below, right underneath the screen. Smash that like button. If you are catching us on the rewind, hey, leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought, as well as if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit that subscribe button, as well as those post notifications. So that way you do not miss a live stream and you get notified of when we go on. Because as you can tell, we are starting to do a lot more live streams on each one of us. So if you do not hit that post notification bell, YouTube's not going to tell you.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, and we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Just, keep that in your mind. We always appreciate y'all spending y'all's time with us and hanging out.
And mind you, next week, I am not announcing who is going to be on there, but next week we are going to be doing another episode of What's in the YouTubers Collection.
That's awesome.
So stay tuned for our special guest for that show, and come and hang out with us again.
Absolutely. Have a good night, guys. We will see y'all next time.
Have a good one.